This could be the biggest UK financial opportunity of our lifetimes, and almost nobody in Britain is paying attention.
The biggest financial opportunities of the last 30 years all came from the same thing: the world going digital. The internet, smartphones, social media, entire industries disappeared while entirely new digital networks created trillions in value. Blockbuster collapsed, Netflix exploded, newspapers died, social media took over the planet, and most people only realised what was happening after the winners were already obvious. But now, something even bigger is happening, because for the first time in human history, money itself is going digital. 20 years ago, people drove to physical stores to rent films, entire businesses were built around physical distribution. Then the internet changed everything. Netflix didn't just beat Blockbuster. It replaced an entire system with a digital network. Faster, more scalable, more efficient. Then came Google, Amazon, Apple, Facebook. Entire generations of wealth were created by one simple shift: analog systems becoming digital, and the people who recognised the pattern early benefited enormously. But for many people in Britain, those opportunities always felt far away. Silicon Valley happened somewhere else. And while America created trillion-dollar digital giants, Britain often felt like it was watching from the sidelines. But now, another transition is beginning. Because this time, it isn't entertainment becoming digital, it's money itself. To understand why this matters, we first need to understand what happened to money. For most of modern history, currencies were backed by gold. Governments couldn't simply create unlimited amounts of money. There were constraints, physical limits. The monetary system was tied to something scarce. Then, in 1971, President Richard Nixon suspended the convertibility of the US dollar into gold, and the global monetary system changed forever. Money became fiat. Government issued currency backed largely by confidence and debt. Since then, the global financial system has expanded dramatically. More debt, more money creation. And over time, the purchasing power of fiat currencies has steadily declined. Houses became more expensive, assets became harder to afford, savings lost value more quickly. For many people, it began to feel like the system itself was changing. Then came 2008, the global financial crisis. Banks collapsed, governments intervened, confidence in the financial system was shaken across the world. And in the middle of that crisis, something entirely new appeared. Bitcoin, a decentralised monetary network, created without a central bank, without a government, without permission. The very first Bitcoin block contained a message referencing bank bailouts. Bitcoin looked insignificant. Internet money, a niche experiment, something only technologists cared about. But over time, the network kept growing, more global recognition, and increasingly, Bitcoin stopped behaving like a speculative internet toy and started behaving more like digital capital, a scarce global asset native to the internet itself. In a world becoming increasingly digital, Bitcoin introduced something entirely new: digitally scarce property. Something that couldn't simply be printed, something globally transferable, something existing entirely online, yet increasingly treated as valuable by institutions, companies, and even governments. What once sounded absurd is now being discussed at the highest levels of finance and politics. The idea of a strategic Bitcoin reserve in the United States is no longer unthinkable. It is actually happening as we speak. Governments are paying attention, institutions are paying attention, capital markets are paying attention. Even the United Kingdom already holds significant amounts of Bitcoin through confiscated assets. And globally, the conversation around digital monetary infrastructure is accelerating rapidly. But perhaps the most important shift is happening inside companies themselves. Companies like Strategy began transforming corporate finance itself, using Bitcoin not simply as an investment, but as a form of strategic digital capital, a new type of treasury strategy built for an increasingly digital monetary world. And rapidly, new Bitcoin-focused financial firms began emerging around that same idea. In Japan, Metaplanet became one of the world's most closely watched Bitcoin companies, signaling something important. This transition was no longer isolated to the USA, it was becoming global. And now, perhaps for the first time in decades, Britain finally has a meaningful opportunity to participate early in a major digital financial transition. One company increasingly attracting attention is the Smarter Web company. After 16 years as a private company, it is now public on the London Stock Exchange. positioning itself around Bitcoin strategy and digital capital markets. And if Bitcoin treasury companies continue becoming a major new financial category, the smarter web company may represent one of the most important financial opportunities Britain has seen in a generation. Every generation experiences a handful of technological transitions that reshape society. The internet, mobile computing, social networks, artificial intelligence. Entire industries are rebuilt during these moments, entire fortunes are created, and most people only recognise the scale of the transition after it has already happened. Britain now faces an important question. Does the country participate meaningfully in the next digital transition, or once again, mostly observe while other nations build the future? And now, money is becoming digital too. What is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore is the scale of the transformation itself, because if money truly is entering its digital era, then this may become one of the largest financial shifts of our lifetime. And perhaps the biggest question of all is this: will Britain lead any part of it, or watch from the sidelines again? The future rarely arrives all at once. It arrives quietly, and somewhere beneath the surface of modern civilization, a new financial era is already taking shape. The question is, who recognises it first to capitalise on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? The world is changing faster than most people realise. If you want to understand where money, technology and society are heading next, subscribe and follow the transition in real time.